Hi guys, today we are here with Jake Wilson, the director of admission in the National Mathematics and Science College, one of the top schools in UK. I will ask Jake a few questions from our clients, our subscribers about UK, about education, and about the college as well. Jake, the first question. What is the difference between education systems in United States of America and in UK? We're talking about schools.
I would say in the UK, most of the schools are more academic. So there's more of a more academic focus in the UK and more of a focus on the subjects. If you look at the national rankings for countries around the world for mathematics, although Britain isn't at the top, it's way above America. I don't think America's even in the top 20, which is quite concerning. You have countries like Singapore, South Korea, Japan, Russia also in the sort of top 5, top 10. I would say that there was more of a focus on academic subjects in the UK. Obviously at university, things change quite a lot.
What education system you would say better? States
Absolutely
one?
The UK.
Why?
It's much more academic. In my experience, I've had international students from a few countries who've gone to America, and particularly with the mathematics, they found that they were studying stuff that they were studying 3 or 4 years ago in their home countries, and subsequently left the United States to come to the UK because the level of mathematics is a higher level, and they feel like they're learning something rather than doing stuff that they did 3 or 4 years ago.
Is it right that Americans come to UK to study?
Not so much at the high school level, because obviously they have a lot of choice in America, but definitely at the university level. I would say obviously our top UK universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College London, London School of Economics. In fact, most universities in London are very attractive to American students. Also, postgrad is very big. Yeah, so definitely university level, bachelor and postgrad. And even when I was studying at university many years ago, there were American students in my cohort.
How the British education system evolved through years from the time when you studied and up till now.
Till now?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
For example, at school, you're the record of admission at one of the top of the schools in UK. What was at the time when you studied, and what it is right now?
When I went to secondary school, when I did my exams, it was the first year that they introduced the GCSE examination.
Do you remember the year?
No, gosh, it's a long time ago, because I'm past 50 now, so yes, you could say yes. Before we had O-level, and we replaced that with GCSE. In some countries in Southeast Asia, like Malaysia, they still have O-level. And actually O-level is considered to be more rigorous an exam than GCSE, that involved more coursework, sort of longer assessment through the period of study. How has it changed today? Well, of course, there was no computer science in my day, and there were no languages and other sort of modern GCSEs that have taken over, things to do with the environment, with gender and so forth. We didn't have subjects like that. It was basically your basics, your maths, your science, your humanities, your arts, not the proliferation of modern languages, and obviously technical subjects, and obviously other humanities, what you can study today. So quite a lot of development.
Jake, and you're the director of admission at National Mathematics and Science College. National Mathematics and Science College. Isn't it boring?
Absolutely not. We have one of the most exciting colleges, of course in the UK, but I'd say in the world. Actually, we're ranked in the top 20 colleges in the world for mathematics. You have to like mathematics at our college, so if you don't, it might be a bit scary or a bit boring. But if you do like maths and science, it's one of the most exciting places you'll ever go to. What sets us apart from other schools, obviously, is we have an environment that is created for students that are totally interested in STEM, and they're supported by, of course, other students who are totally interested in STEM, but of course all of our teachers are STEM enthusiasts, if not obsessional, teachers. Most of them have PhDs and they have a real passion for their subjects. Yeah, we've got a unique community. We do very, very high level studies, lots of projects, Olympiads, all sorts of things going on before school. There are students there at 7 o'clock solving maths puzzles set by the professors that are way beyond A-level standard. I can honestly say it's like a university, a STEM-focused university for young people.
And what is the difference in terms of studying at, like, let's say, general school and National Mathematics and Science College, so the top school?
Well, obviously our college is selective. So we have a very rigorous mathematics assessment process. You have to be an advanced maths student. So obviously all of the students in our college have the maths brain. We can appeal to that and get high results, using the logical thinking and so forth. It is a community of STEM enthusiasts. We have 120 students at the moment, looking to have 150 in September. So although it's very academic, it's like a family. Everybody knows each other and everybody is united by the passion for STEM and maths and science. And I always say the language of our college is mathematics. It's not really English, it's mathematics, So that makes it totally universal to all students who like and are good at maths.
What advice would you give for potential students to prepare for your college?
Not just for our college, but for any college and any college around the world. I strongly advise that all students work on their English and, of course, for our college, their mathematics. The difference between arriving with English at a strong B2 upper intermediate or even a C1 advanced level and having a high level of mathematics means when you arrive, you instantly understand what the teacher's talking about and you understand the first introductory lessons in all the subjects. If you are struggling with your English a bit, it's always a case of, oh, I don't understand the teacher, oh, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. And it's a bit of a bumpy adaptation, while you're starting at the college. But with a higher level of English and a higher level of mathematics, obviously it's a very soft, smooth landing. After 1 month, of course, you'll be studying things that you've never studied before. So my advice is, yes, get your English as high as possible and of course get your mathematics as high as possible. Another thing is obviously this can open doors for scholarships. If you have a high level of English and a high level of mathematics, schools will be impressed and they will show their appreciation with scholarships.
So basically you lead to this question, what are the scholarship and what the students need to be, what sort of profile of the student should demonstrate to get the scholarship from?
Absolutely. So what we're looking for is, number one, as the language of the college is mathematics, a high level of mathematics. Our entrance exam is difficult, if not the most difficult in the UK. That's the feedback that I tend to get. However, there are students out there who find it easy, which is quite scary because I find it difficult, But for the majority of students, they'll have to do some preparation work. So if you do apply to our college, I do strongly recommend students take 2-3 weeks to prepare for our maths entrance exam. I do provide them with materials to do so and a list of topics to be familiar with that could come up in the exam. English, I leave that to the students, because obviously all our lessons are in English, and if your English isn't great, then you're going to struggle studying A-level with us. If your English needs to be developed, your maths needs to be developed, and you're 15 or 16, you can do our pre-A-level course, which is totally designed to help you with that. But if you want a scholarship, high level of mathematics, high level of English, and of course a noticeable enthusiasm for STEM and your chosen subject within that.
So the thing is that when you look at the student, what are the exams to get to the school, and is it going to be like an interview with you?
Absolutely. We have a very, very unique process for applying to the college. Firstly, we have a maths quiz that's free with no time limit, and it's on our website, and anybody is welcome to take that. Student, parent, consultant, professor, doctor, and I generally respond to all of those. The questions are written in a certain way which will, excite, and yes. Students who like maths will start to realise we teach maths in a different way as soon as they do the quiz, and they will enjoy it. Although the level is only high school level, so typically 15, 16-year-olds, like GCSE in the UK. However, our maths entrance exam is more like high level, A level. So if you're 15, you are now taking an exam that is above your natural study level in your school, so you have to show that you're an advanced student. Our English exams, I would say, are quite simple. There's a grammar exam, so that's sort of reading, grammar, read the sentence, choose the right word to complete the sentence. So if you've been studying English for a couple of years, there should be no problems there. There is a short essay to write, and obviously you should use paragraphs and keywords, and obviously check your punctuation, spelling and grammar, but that's sort of similar to an IELTS task 1, not too difficult. Now, if you are successful in the maths and the English exams, the next stage and the final stage with us is the interview. The interview is almost always with the principal. Dr. Andy Kemp has a PhD in mathematics, and he's a great AI, computer science, ChatGPT enthusiast. In fact, he speaks around the UK on this subject and tells other principals, what's going to happen tomorrow. So of course, students who like computer science really enjoy talking to him. But anyway, he will ask obviously the obvious questions about your educational background, your educational future, but we will ask a couple of maths questions. So now it's almost like an interview for Oxford or Cambridge University, but for a young person. And from what I'm aware, I think we're one of the only schools that actually asks academic questions in the interview. So, students don't have to get this question totally correct, but they have to show that they've understood what has been said, maybe, develop their answer, because we usually choose a question they got wrong in the entrance exam, and have a little conversation about, how to come up with a better solution than they did before. Students, again, who like mathematics, science, they enjoy the interview process.
When you recommend for the student start preparation, and when you think the student is ready to study abroad?
Obviously, English language and having English language skills is very important. Now, if the parents have an ambition for the child to be a doctor or a surgeon, or something very difficult to get into medical school like that, this preparation should start at 10 years old. There's no need to come to the UK then, unless you can, but obviously you should be working on improving your English, your maths, your science. I would suggest there are a few points of entry. So 13, 14 years old is a good time to come to the UK. The student is sort of mature enough to go and study overseas, I think, and adapt. But being young still, that gives them a chance to adapt to their new study environment, develop their English before taking any important exams. And then, of course, if they are ready, they can take those GCSE exams that I was the first, student to ever take, some years ago. And that can help them, with their university applications for certain subjects. So yeah, 13, 14 is a good time to come. If, money is an issue, because obviously studying overseas is quite expensive, 16, 17, maybe even late 15 is a crucial period when students can come, if their English, maths, etc. is ready, and begin the A-level studies. Now, the A-level studies obviously are the most important qualification in the UK, and in my opinion in the world, to gain access to university. You know, the right results can really take you to some of the top universities around the world. Yeah, I'd say they're the best times. If you have finished your school in your home country and you're still 17, 18, you can come to the UK and do a shorter course. So there is possibilities in some colleges to do a 1-year A-level, but it is highly challenging because obviously British students take 2 years to study A-level, and now you're an international student studying 1 year, so it's 2 years of study in 1 year. English needs to be very high, C1 advanced, and of course your maths and science skills, you know, need to be very advanced, otherwise you're going to struggle. But if you're not at that level, then there are foundation courses which offer a 1-year access course to good universities, not the top universities, but good universities, and they're fine for students who want to study business, I'd say. Yeah.
You do math and sciences. What is the career opportunities for these students? Where do they go? What programs they choose at the universities?
In my opinion, obviously we offer the A-levels, maths, advanced maths, biology, chemistry, physics, computer science, economics, and of course academic English. They're probably the most important A-levels to get the best results regarding careers, starting your own businesses, you know, so forth. And of course, it's computer science, it's medicine, it's engineering, it's high-level economics and business studies that makes money, you know. Not necessarily marketing, I don't think that's, you know, so good really. But of course, our students, you know, they come to us being a specialist STEM college with a strong reputation and mission to get students into the top universities to study all of those subjects. So at the moment, of course, computer science is very popular. We do have computer science A-level, we do have advanced maths, we do have physics. Mathematics, you know, being the National Maths and Science College, we do attract, you know, pure mathematicians, which is fantastic. And of course medicine. Last year we got over 10 students into medical school, which is pretty good. Obviously that's very difficult and students really need to explore if actually applying to medical school to be a doctor is right, or maybe they might find something more interesting, easier to get into, you know, which might be a specialist science, genetics, or, you know, biochemistry, natural sciences with a preference for biology or chemistry are routes that students commonly take. But that's something, you know, to explore while at the college. And of course, yeah, we have lots of engineers as well, and some economists, because of course with maths and high-level mathematics, economics naturally goes with that. So yes, we have scientists, computer scientists, mathematicians, engineers, doctors of the future, and economists too.
Jake, obviously you are the top school, and I believe that your students go to the top universities. Obviously they go to Oxford and Cambridge, you told me.
Yes.
This. And what are other universities they go to get the best of the best? Can you name some of the universities?
Absolutely.
And what they specialize in as well?
Yes. Well, all of these universities specialize in STEM, you know, so all the way from medicine to mathematics to computer science, of course economics and many other subjects. So obviously Oxford and Cambridge are very well known. I would encourage students to consider those, especially if they're considering between US and UK, because obviously Oxford tends to be ranked #1 in the world every other year, while the other years it's an American university and they sort of take turns. It's MIT, it's Caltech, it's Harvard, it's, you know, Stanford, you know. But for some reason Oxford is always #1. This year, 2 years later, #1. When I last looked at it in detail, there was a 20% chance of being successful. Whilst in America, it was less than a 3% chance at an Ivy League. So, you know, if you're good at maths already, you want to reduce your risk of not being accepted by applying to Oxbridge. But for some students, obviously, Oxford and Cambridge are in the wrong place. And of course, London is a major attraction for students. And of course, within London, we have some great universities like Imperial College London, which actually is probably the most popular university in our college. Now, a few reasons for that. I think #1, it's in London. #2, there has been some research, you know, of graduates to suggest that starting salaries tend to be at least £10,000 more than what they are Oxford and Cambridge, you know, so if that's important, that's worth considering. But we have a sort of Scottish history as well, so, you know, Edinburgh and St Andrews tend to be popular. And then of course those top 10, you know, Russell Group universities. We actually have a partnership with Warwick University for medicine. However, they only offer postgrad medicine, so we don't have any students going there for medicine. But we do have a couple of students every year who go to Warwick, which is literally less than 10 minutes walk. And we have a strong history with Warwick and cooperation partnership. Our principal has a PhD in mathematics from Warwick University, you know. So yes, Warwick is our local university and our local choice for students who've enjoyed studying and living in the area.
Do you have your favorite university?
Oh no, I wouldn't have a favourite. Over the years, I've asked many students why they've chosen to go to some universities. Because of course, some of them choose to go to the big cities, you know, London, Manchester. Others tend to go far, far, far away into the countryside, you know, like there's universities in Wales and even St Andrews, which is obviously a very popular university. It's quite remote, you know, yes, there's no real public transport to get there, but you know, people enjoy that. So it's really a case of what you're looking for. For me, the idea of really going deep into your studies and not being distracted by what's happening outside is quite important, you know. So I've really enjoyed talking to students who've studied, you know, in some of these more remote universities, and I've said to them, oh, what do you do at the weekend? What do you do in the evening? They say, oh, I walk along the beach. I go for a walk in the forest. And I think, you know, these students are really embracing their studies and absorbing all of the knowledge and opportunities to study, while maybe a business student, you know, computer science student, you know, something like that, being in a big city like London, which obviously is an international centre for business, variety, so forth, that has advantages as well. So it really depends on your course and how deep you want to be absorbed in your degree studies, you know. For some students, of course, they want to work part-time.
You are specializing in math and science.
STEM, yes.
The UK market is a big market for schools. If talking not about National Mathematics and Science College, what are other specialized schools? I don't want you to give me the names. I want you to give like what students might take if they're not like math or sciences. What are opportunities as well for them? Like for example, like Western or like swimming or like whatever school.
Yes.
What do you have in UK?
Well, what we have in the UK, however, it's mostly in the government public sector where they have specialist academies for all different types of subjects, and you know, even specialist academies just for engineering, just for medicine, things like that. But within the independent private schools, there are opportunities to study obviously music, art, drama at specialist schools. Of course, there are schools that really specialize in sport. You know, they have fantastic sports facilities, and students, you know, end up in the Youth England football team or the show jumping team, or you know, whatever. And then some of those students go on to be professional athletes like that. But actually in the independent sector, I don't know of a college that specializes in just humanities. We are very unique, unlike many countries around the world that have, you know, specialist maths and science lyceums and things like that. Yeah, we're pretty unique. I only know actually of 2 other government schools that specialise in mathematics. We're the only school that I know of that specialises in the whole STEM provision. Again, that makes us totally unique.
Jake, what subject would you say are the subjects of the future?
Mathematics obviously is a very important subject and applied to all the sciences. You know, it's literally the foundation really of all STEM subjects. So maths definitely stays on the table. Of course, all the sciences will have importance in the future as they have now. But for subjects that we don't offer, you know, which might be a bit encouraging, of course there is a climate change revolution, a renewable energy revolution, and regardless if you think it's real or not, it is actually happening. So I would look at possibly geography, and I think there is an environmental studies A-level. So that might be interested if combined with sciences and mathematics. So of course, just like our college, maths is compulsory for every student. Again, that's quite unique, you know, because that's not really the case in most schools around the UK. So maths is fundamental. At least one science, you know. Chemistry obviously is a fantastic subject that's applied to many areas of life, you know, of course biology as well, but maybe an interesting pairing of mathematics, computer science, chemistry and environmental studies. That comes up with nice combinations of what things to study at degree level, you know.
And you mentioned your principal and chat GPT relation. What do you think of artificial intelligence in the future? What shall students study?
Well, this is quite controversial because obviously there are many pro points, you know, for artificial intelligence, and there are many sort of fears, you know, and almost threats, particularly threats to jobs. I personally have been experimenting with ChatGPT, and I've been asking it all sorts of questions that come into my, you know, mind about health and nutrition and studies and, you know, things like that. And I'm quite impressed with the answers that I get. I'd put the answers that I get as a undergraduate student who's getting, you know, 90% in every essay within a few seconds. So, you know, you are getting a high standard of, you know, information there. However, I did hear something very interesting. Of course, everybody's saying STEM, 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 study maths, study engineering, study medicine, computer science, like this. But actually, AI and ChatGPT, this actually requires more poets, more artists, more, you know, comedians, like, you know, more arts and humanities to actually learn and develop from. There might be a future of, you know, more artists and more poets and, you know, in the future. But of course, obviously, the big debate is ChatGPT can write an essay for me, you know, so is it your work? And this is highly controversial because obviously one part of going to university, if not, you know, already in college, in school, is being able to research. And being able to research yourself and not ask Google or Wikipedia or ChatGPT what the answer to your questions are. Because obviously, you know, you can get all of the references very quickly, but actually be careful because ChatGPT does create references that don't exist. So it does lie sometimes. But yes, it's getting better and developing every day. I'm worried about doctors. I could see, you know, that an AI analytical, language system like ChatGPT could take over being your doctor. And you'd probably enjoy the experience more, actually.
And as a director of admission, would you name some countries where you could have the strongest students, academically strongest?
Oh, well, you know, this obviously is highly controversial, because it sort of tries to say one student's better than the other. So what I look at is this, as our college is very academically focused, the students tend to come from countries where they have a history and culture of maths and science. Obviously, East Asia, so South Korea, China, Hong Kong, good students who are into mathematics and science come from there, and medicine, you know, and especially to the British system because of the old relationship with Hong Kong, you know. And of course then India, you know, has some exceptional mathematical students. Russia has some great math students. Iran has great engineers and, you know, medical and mathematics students too. But we have, you know, great students from many different countries. But there tends to be a bit of a pattern though. As I said, it is countries with an established history and culture and an enthusiasm for mathematics and science. We don't really get many applications from South America, from Africa, you know, maybe because that history of culture of mathematics hasn't developed there, you know, so much. Countries where they have specialist schools for maths and science, those students like our college because they recognise it, and parents recognise what we're trying to be, what we're trying to achieve. We're just trying to do that in the UK, which offers a lot of other interesting things for boarding students, being, you know, the most established and still the most popular boarding school destination in the world.
Guys, thank you for watching this interview with Jake. If you have any more questions regarding the British education system, regarding the National Mathematics and Science College, please write to us, comment below. We can organize the interview with Jake. You can ask him questions directly. Just drop us a message and don't forget to subscribe to see all the important stuff about international education. Bye, see ya.
Bye bye.